Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Tsai. I am the co-president of Citywide Council for District 75. We will begin with our interpreters in the room, Spanish and Mandarin. Please relay the information to our community. Also, we are recording this for all of our community members who cannot attend, and it will be posted up on our website at ccd75.org to be viewed. So if you would like your cameras off from the public and your audio muted, please do so. Anything that would be captured here, we do not want to embarrass you, do not want to put you in the spot. So if you would like to keep your cameras on, please do so. But if just to keep privacy and confidentiality, please keep it off. Thank you. Interpreters, may you please translate the information? Thank you.
Good evening, this is Rafael, Spanish interpreter. The following information will be in Spanish. Hola, muy buena noche. Para toda la persona que desee escuchar esta reunión en español, se le pide por favor que llame al número telefónico 347-966-4114. Se les pedirá que se les va a dar instrucciones de poner un número de identificación. El número es el siguiente: 601-672-695, seguido por la tecla numeral. Una vez más, el número telefónico 347-966-4114, seguido por el número de identificación de la llamada 601-672-695, seguido por la tecla numeral. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, the following will be Mandarin interpretation announcement. 您好，晚上好。如果需要收听中文翻译频道，请拨打347-966-4114，然后输入会议 ID 593-966-029井号键。中文翻译频道请拨打347-966-4114，然后输入会议 ID 593-966-029井号键。如果您想收听中文音频，同时在电脑上看到会议，请用电话拨打中文会议频道，然后将电脑和电话同时调成静音。再说一遍，中文翻译频道请拨打347-966-4114，然后输入会议 ID 593-966-029井号键。谢谢 ，Thank you.
Thank you, interpreters. Can you please put the information in the chat box so we have parents and families that are coming in have the information? Appreciate that. I will call this meeting this evening, our September calendar meeting for Citywide Council for District 75 at 6:40 p.m. this evening. Call to order. Council member and recording secretary, Christy Montalban, may you please begin with the roll call?
Yes, starting the roll call now. Miss Amy Ming Tsai,
Good evening, present.
Mr. Craig Spencer,
Greetings, present.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence, Miss Christy
Please.
Angel,
Who's coming in late?
present. Miss Christy Montalban, present. Mr. Angel Morales,
Present. Good evening.
Ms. Aisha Husbands,
Present as those that are staff members, right?
Celia Green,
Have to be.
Celia Green,
She's on her way to Tweed.
Miss Joanne Jones,
Present.
Miss Constance Asiadu,
She is at Tweed.
Miss Patricia Jewett.
And so am I. I'm at Tweed too. Along with members of the public.
We have 9 members present and we have quorum.
Thank you, Councilmember Christy Montalban. Patricia, Okay, are you there with Celia Green?
I'm in the middle of going through security. I have to get back to you.
Thank you. I'll give her a call. We're supposed to be fully virtual today, extension of the open meetings law. I'm sure she.
There's obviously an obvious miscommunication because we have members of the public here as well. So that's not fair.
Okay, we will, we already have our appointment of timekeeper, Miss Councilmember Joanne Jones. Let's just have a moment of silence for our community and our families during this tough time and challenging. A lot of health issues and family issues. So let's just take a minute to make our prayers. Thank you. Apologies. We have two council members, our co-president Celia Green and council member Constance Duda, are at the courthouse in person. They will be online virtually very soon. Apologies for the interruption. Let's just have one more minute and we will begin. Is Celia Green or Constance online?
We're still trying to get set up at speed. You have to be a little bit more patient than that. I really would appreciate it.
Thank you, Patricia. While we wait for our council members to come online, I would like to introduce our superintendent, Kara Lusant, and his team at the district, 75 citywide programs. Superintendent Lusant, are you on?
Yes, Amy, good evening. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you as always. And we are joining you today just to share some updates with you and to really let you know exactly about our goals, our plans for the district for the new school years. I am glad that I am not here alone. We have many team members here from District 75, and we are all here to really share the work with you and hopefully get some feedback from you, if not tonight, but in the near future, because as I always said, we do not want to do anything, any major decision without involving you as elected parent body, and we want to make sure we continue to do that because we feel that the work that we're engaging in is a work that we need to do together. Before we go to the PowerPoint, I want to quickly share with you that as you know, last Saturday we had a back to school event in Queens, and I am proud and happy to tell you that we had 600 plus participants. And we know next week we're gonna be in the Bronx at 188. You all have the address of the location. We are hoping that all the Bronx families gonna just show up and show our families in Brooklyn and in Queens, they do it in the Bronx. So listen, this is a time where we welcome competition, friendly, collegial competition. We just want to make sure that we have as many families attending as possible. As you know, those events really are a good source of information and also sharing of resources and opportunities for our students. And we want to make sure that all of our families in the Bronx are able to attend. Please forgive my voice. I know sometimes I lose it a bit, so I'm gonna try to move in as quickly as I can before I lose it all the way. Also, reminder, on Sunday we will have Disability Pride Parade. You all receive all the information around that. It's in Manhattan. And so if you need additional information, I am sure we will be more than willing to share that with you. So we have a quick presentation to share with you today. I'm just gonna ask for the PowerPoint to be uploaded here, and so we can start.
Yes, hi, everybody. This is Shelley. Would it be possible to make me a co-host so I can post the presentation?
Sure, Shelley. Just give me a second. I'll co-host you.
Thank you.
Okay, you should be co-host now.
I see that I am. Let me bring this up. Thank you. Can you see my screen, the presentation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
So I have the great pleasure of revisiting with you this evening our Chancellor's expectation. And you know, the Chancellors really decided to frame the work going across the city through 4 pillars. And the first one, as I am sure you all know, is reimagine the student experience. What does that mean for us in District 75? It is really creating, fostering, and promoting learning environment that will really support not only teaching, but learning. So we want to make sure we are really creating spaces for our students to really engage in instruction, making sure that school continue to do everything in their power to support our students, to make sure they are going to a productive, robust learning experience while they are with us. It is really reimagining it. In the word reimagine, you are seeing the prefix re, which is let's do it again. Let's explore additional options that can allow us to enrich the experience of students while they are in school with us. Then the second pillar call on every one of us to scale and sustain things that work. Many times we use a lot of resources, a lot of curricula, a lot of material, document, and to support the learning of our students. We want to engage in deep assessment and evaluation of those resources, of the variety of program and initiative we have in our school, and those that are really impactful, those that are showing progress in our students. Those are those program and initiatives that we want to scale, and we want to sustain all those practices that shows a lot of progress. So everything that works, we want to do much more of it. And those that have not shown gain and that have not been supportive of our student learning, we want to decrease their use and toward eliminating them. We all know that all of our students across the city, they have gone to a lot of trauma. I know we use this word quite often, and we want to make sure that we do everything that we can to support their social, emotional learning, that we continue to support them with mindfulness, with technique to self-regulate. We want to make sure they are well. We want to make sure not only we are taking care of their education, but we are also supporting their mental health. And what does that look like? You know, and as co-president Sai really has been a champion in ensuring that District 75 participate in healing-centered school. We want to make sure we always expound a healing-centered approach to supporting students. We want to propagate wellness initiative. We want to use our related services staff and all of our staff across the district to support our student wellness, because we know they need to be self-regulated. They need to be in a good mental and emotional state to fully attend to their learning, because otherwise then we only providing instruction, but they're not really connecting to the instruction because they are really dealing with other emotional issues. And the fourth pillar is, as you know, partnership with parents. in District 75, and I am sure you all will attest to that, we believe that the work that we do every day cannot be done without involving our parents and our families. I am proud as a superintendent to say that since I began as a superintendent of the district, we have been intentional in bringing our families to the center, in collaborating, in partnering with you to ensure that whatever decision we make, whatever initiative we are bringing in, we get feedback from you. And that has been very helpful to us. And that's something we will continue to do. We will continue to expand on. We don't want to bring you in at the end or in the middle. We want to bring you in the beginning and at the inception of decision making. And to do so, we recognize that we need to change some of our practices. We need to revisit some of them. We need to adjust. We need to refine some of them. And we are totally willing to do so. We recognize that as parents, you are really a backbone. And there are many resources that actually many of you have brought to the district, have brought to your schools. And we want to continue to partner with you, to work with you. And so we can enrich the learning experience for our students, and we can truly, with your support, reimagine the student experience, scaling and sustaining the good thing, the good practices that are working, continue to prioritize wellness for our students, and together we can help them thrive. The chancellor, as you can tell, also had some big goals. He believed that all students will learn to read well. That's something District 75 take seriously. And I am glad we also have tonight with us our Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Karen Anderson. And she is really someone that is leading literacy work across the district. We're taking our student literacy instruction very well, because we want students to be able to read, and not only just reading just in school textbook or just regular books. We want them to be able to engage with their environment, to be able to read, for example, an application or whatever else. We want to give them those functional skills that they will need to be productive in their own environment. And we want them, and the second chancellor big goal is all students will be physically and emotionally safe. There is no instruction, there is nothing we can do if students are not safe physically and emotionally. As you can tell, this second big goal really tie up very nicely to the chancellor third pillar. And the third chancellor big goal is all students will have a high quality academic experience. This is something we want to continue to do. There are a lot of work happening in the district around improving the quality of instruction. And as I told you before, Karen is here, and we want to make sure that we have a whole team approach to it. Not only we have directors, department directors. We also have coaches that are partnering with school staff to ensure that we are always improving the academic experience of our students. We want the chancellor also expect and want all students to graduate with a strong plan and pathway to economic security. That is what our transition work is about. And you know how hard we've been working to improve transition outcome for all of our students. You know that for the first time in District 75, we have become our own vendors. 1,000 slots had been awarded to our students this summer, and we want to continue to do so. Let me speak a little bit faster. The fifth Chancellor big goal is families will be able to easily access information across New York City school and be empowered. We have already implemented this goal in District 75. That's why we have shared with you that we are relaunching our District 75 website. We have launched our social media account, and we always available to you to provide you information on demand. And the final goal is New York City school system will reflect the diversity of the city it serves. Now, this is one goal that in District 75, I do not need to really explain too much because you know them all, you know us all. We have been promoting diversity across the district. Our staff has been trained in implicit bias. We have gone to equity training, and we believe that diversity and inclusion are tenors that intended that we really we need to apply. Then to do all that, we need to create supportive environment for our student and put the student in the center of it. Because the only way we can show that all this is working is by showing that our students are achieving and we trust each other, and we also have effective school leadership. And that's why we continue to work and develop our principal and develop their leadership capacity to make sure that there is supportive environment around our student. And the care principles as well, connect, affirm, and respond. We will be going a little bit deeper on that as the presentation unfolds. Shelley, could you go to the next slide, please? So this slide presents to you the division of teaching and learning goals. And so under the leadership of Deputy Chancellor Caroline Quintana, the division has selected to strengthen core instruction. That means they want to go back to basic, teaching our children how to read, but to do so, we need to train and teach the adults that are teaching them. And we need to strengthen core instruction, making sure that across our schools, we have the staff and we also have the knowledge to provide our students with quality and instruction. Besides that, we also want to increase access and address barriers. Whatever can be a barrier for our students, we want to eliminate that. We want to increase their access, whatever that is. Is it transportation? Is it something in their own environment? If we can support it if it's in our sphere of influence to do, that's something we are totally willing to do. That's why we want to make sure we provide our students with wraparound support to make sure nothing interfere with their learning, to make sure we increase their access, whether they are in a co-located building or a self-contained building. We want to make sure that we are providing them with all kind of support to increase access and to get rid of barriers. We also, as I stated to you earlier, develop high quality educators. This is being done by the many trainings and workshops that teachers, parents, and related service providers have access to. As you know, District 75, it has a robust professional development catalog. We make it accessible to educators across the city, and they are so very happy and willing to come in and learn with us. And that's something that DC Quintana has expanded through or plan to expand throughout our school, making sure that educators are well prepared to provide instruction to all of our students and raise literacy. As you know, this is the primary goal of the whole division, is improving literacy, is raising the bar for each and every student. Next slide, please. This one is the goal of the Division of Specialized Instruction and Student Support under the leadership of Special Education Chief Christina Fodi. They are aiming at identifying, making sure that every student is identified on time. That means many times there are children that need special education support and that are not doing well in their current setting. We want to make sure, the division want to make sure they are identified on time and they receive the appropriate support. Secondly, they want every student who have been identified now, they want all of them to receive their program services in as inclusive an environment as it is appropriate. So that means we don't want anybody to be learning in silos. We want them to not only receive their related services, but to have access to teachers that hold the current license and to be programmed according to their IEPs. And I am proud to remind you tonight that throughout the history of District 75, last year for the first time, we have reached the highest rate of program services in District 75. And so that is something we are very proud of. That is a work we will continue to do, and we are happy to partner with you on that as well. The division also aims at taking a strategic approach to program development that reduce costs over time. So that's bringing a level of efficiency into the work, making sure that nobody is getting shortchanged, but the work can be refined and improved to address all of our student needs, but by doing it in such an efficient way that resources can be distributed appropriately and, more importantly, equitably. And finally, every student will be able to get services in public school close to their home. That is really something our placement office is very keen on achieving. We want to make sure that our students are placed, are learning, are getting educated as close as possible to their home. No longer do we do not want our students to be on long bus rides and spending a lot of time you know, on buses just to get the services they are entitled to. That's why we are very keen at placing them close to their home as possible, and so they can really be well prepared to attend to their instructional need and their learning need. Could you please go to the next slide? So this is our District 75 goals. Deputy Superintendent Kleinberg will go a little bit deeper on that, but you will see, and she will explain to you how we have aligned our goal to the Chancellor's goal, to the Chancellor priorities, and to the four pillars. So I will then transition the presentation to Shirley, and she will discuss the goals with you, our goals with you.
Thank you, Superintendent Louisant. And thank you all for the opportunity for us to be able to share our goals with you. As the superintendent had stated, we have been working very closely with Central DOE to make sure that there is full alignment in terms of our priorities and our goals with the expectation of the city. And as we go through each of the 5 goals that we have assessed the needs to actualize this year, you'll be able to see those connections as well. So our first goal, in alignment with the citywide priority on literacy instruction, is to work across our schools to ensure that our students across all grade levels are showing growth in literacy skill development. And we will be looking to do so through the growth that we're going to be working on with our students in phonemic awareness and phonics skill development in the early grades. In alignment with the city, all of our early childhood programs will have a concrete phonics program in place for all of their students. So in recognition of the diversity of our student population, schools will be selecting the appropriate tools to support that process for our students in accordance with their developmental levels and needs. And in the older grade, we're going to be looking at the applications of that. So by exposing students across the city to these word study or phonemic awareness and phonics programs, what does that mean in terms of the skills that they'll be able to acquire in their comprehension-based learning to be able to apply those skills to continue to develop their literacy both in school and across community and home settings as well. Our second goal is looking at our career and technical education programs and the work-based learning that we all know is so essential to our students' lifelong development as we're preparing them for college and career readiness. We want to continue to build our portfolio of career and technical education trained teachers across our schools to be able to ensure that our students are exposed to as many job readiness skills as possible in areas of interest to determine the direction that they'd like to go in their adult lives. So we are going to be working with Natalie McQueen in our Office of Transition and Post-Secondary Readiness to look at ways that we can reimagine the student's experience by developing and expanding some industry-specific programs that students can have access to, not only necessarily within their own school building, but possibly through a Saturday or after-school program opportunity to meet with other students that are interested in learning the same trade or skill to be able to develop those job readiness skills. So more to come on that goal as we look at our capacity and our student interest to develop those programs. We also recognize that our students with autism population is not only our fastest growing, but our largest population of students across District 75. And due to that, we have recognized that we need to look very closely at the continuum of opportunities and options our students have from the time they enter our program in every transitional phase of their school career as they go through our system. So we are working this year with a pilot school per borough to look very closely at the decisions that are being made from the time that students enter our system, when they come into our schools for their Turning Fives meetings, to decide what assessments they are going to be utilizing to build their skills, what curricula and supports they're going to be using, to see how the nature of those decisions from the foundational stages has an impact on the opportunities and outcomes our students have as they move through the continuum. So we're very excited for this group of schools to continue to report their process and their students' progress across our district to help to inform decision-making across the entire district moving forward. We also are looking to build upon an existing program that we've had within District 75, our collaborative school communities partnerships. These have been partnerships established over the last several years between schools in co-located buildings. So our District 75 schools that share space with a District 1 through 32 school that have put forth promising practices and a desire to learn together to build increasingly inclusive opportunities for our students. We are rejuvenating these partnerships to build further upon them in recognition that we've had some shifts and changes in terms of partnerships, in terms of collaboration, school leaders, etc. By bringing together 5 new partnerships, 1 per borough this year. The application process will be starting shortly, and these 5 school communities collaboratively are going to engage in professional learning with the collaborative inclusive partnership and goal set towards very specific areas of growth and change that they'd like to see in the building of their inclusive practices. We are going to be partnering with the Lighthouse Initiative, which is the program that is building from the Showcase Schools opportunities of past years in the DOE to be able to look at ways that the schools engaging in this process are able to host visits so other schools can learn and build from their practices. And finally, in reference to what the superintendent had mentioned regarding healing-centered practices and the Healing-Centered Schools Initiative, we wholeheartedly believe in all aspects of creating the supportive environment that we know is so essential for our students, our families, our staff, and our schools. And we are very invested in working with our parent leaders to create healing-centered schools and to build on the practices that have already been started. We do think it's your council co-president, Ms. Amy Mingsai, for all of the work that she did to bring healer-centered practices to our schools. We have had about 28 parents that have already gone through the training process, and we're looking to create hub schools in each of our boroughs to build further upon those healing-centered practices to serve as models for other schools, to bring practices that bring communities together to our schools. And we also recognize, in alignment with the city and the CARES principles that the superintendent had referenced on his first slide, in the importance of connecting, affirming, responding, and empowering within our communities to make sure that we are eliciting the change that we'd like to see for our schools. So we have committed to prioritizing all of the many ways in which District 75 cares for all of our students. And we have taken the CARES acronym very much to heart and looking at what we know that we want our priorities to be. So we will be focusing across all of our goals and across all of our actions in the continued connection of our stakeholders to the training and services and the resources that are necessary to build the literacy that I had spoken about and the superintendent referenced across all of our grade bands. And we're going to, in just a moment, we'll speak about some of the individuals that are going to help along that process. We also are prioritizing our continued affirmation of a safe, nurturing, and accessible environment across the district. And by nature of providing that environment, we anticipate an enhancement in our attendance and student engagement. That's something that we are committed to nurturing and sustaining across our schools. We will continue to respond to the customized academic, social, emotional, and transitional needs of all students to promote access, inclusion, and equity across our system, and recognition that this is truly what we're striving for across the system, to provide that access and that inclusion that we hold so near and dear within our district and our schools. We will also continue to empower all individuals and all of our stakeholders, our families, our students, our staff, and our communities to provide the collaborative wraparound supports that are necessary to ensure that success. And these priorities have been crafted and will be nurtured and actualized to make sure that this is in place for all of our students across the district. And in order to support this work, we are thrilled that we have this school year been able to onboard 4 new directors to support the work of Karen Anderson, our Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and her team. And we did want to make sure that all of you know of the individuals that will be helping to support this work, along with all of those that are already it's in place within our teams. Amanda McPhee, many of you know, she has supported our Division of the Arts for quite a few years, and she has just been appointed as our Director of the Arts. We know that she is committed to building innovation, creativity, and access to our students, and we're thrilled that she will be continuing to support us in this role. Melissa Scala is our Director of Multilingual Learners and English Language Learners, and she has supported our schools within the department as a coach for a number of years, and she's going to be building upon her experience in working across schools to make sure that there is continued access and advocacy for our multilingual and English language learners to ensure that they have full access to all aspects of their instructional program. So we're thrilled to have her continued support. And we also welcome 2 newcomers who have just onboarded to District 75 to our team. Mr. Dear Taylor is our new Director of STEM. He comes to us with vast knowledge of a variety of partnerships and affiliations within the world of STEM and science and math learning, as well as technology supports. And we're very excited for him to work with his team of coaches and also with with partners in the Central DOE offices of Math and Science to bring a diversity of supports and innovations to our schools. And also Ms. Crystal Stewart has onboarded as our Director of Literacy and Social Studies. She has provided a host of professional development topics across the DOE to build literacy expectations across the city. And we know that she and her coaches within District 75 will offer a wealth of supports to help us to meet our goal of continued literacy learning and expansion of opportunities for students. With these directors coming on board, we're very excited to think about all of the opportunities now that we are back in buildings and back in person. Will offer so much more to come this year on the many ways that we're going to be able to celebrate academic learning across our schools. Again, we thank Karen Anderson for being with us today. Karen, feel free if there's anything that I've missed, but please do feel free to reach out to Ms. Anderson for any questions that you might have moving forward on the many supports that are being provided by our Office of Curriculum and Instruction. And now I'm going to pass the mic to my colleague, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Adam Breyer, for some health updates.
Thank you, and sorry for my shocked look. I didn't realize how bad the lighting was in this room. So bear with the bad lighting, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thank you for having us. And exactly, Shelley, I'm going to fill everybody in on the updated COVID-19 guidance. I know that there have been a number of questions about it. So hopefully this presentation will clear up any questions that you have. So I know this one will sound obvious. Stay home if sick. So students should stay home if they show any symptoms of COVID-19 or other illnesses and get tested for COVID-19. Students who test positive for COVID-19 must isolate for 5 days and can return to school on day 6 if they have no symptoms or the symptoms that they had are improving. They must, however, wear a mask until day 10 after the onset of symptoms or the date of the positive test, whichever is earlier. And please note, this is the only mandate for masks, but it is a mandate. So if your child tests positive for COVID, when they come back on day 6, they must wear a mask. Also know that you have to tell us, you have to tell your principal or whoever the designee is in the school is for receiving that information, because it's up to the school to report positive tests to the situation room. That is still in existence. So you need to tell the school about that positive test. Get tested if exposed. So if your child is exposed to COVID-19, they should be tested. So please use the tests that schools have distributed. So all students should have received 4 tests to take home. And they should take 2 tests at least 24 hours apart on day 4 and day 5 of their exposure. And those home tests would be a great way for that end of the 5-day isolation testing process to happen. All exposed individuals should monitor for fever and other COVID-19 symptoms for 10 days after exposure. If symptoms begin, they should isolate at home and get tested for COVID-19 again right away. Starting the first day of school, as I mentioned, schools will offer home test kits to those with a potential in-school exposure and those with symptoms. Additionally, all students will receive 4 home tests per month to be used for testing due to symptoms, exposures, high-risk activity, such as travel or large gatherings over the weekend. Feel free to use those home tests, of course. In-school PCR surveillance testing that we've become somewhat used to is no longer a part of our structure, right? So for the 2022, 2023 school year, there was no surveillance testing. Also, there's no longer any daily health screening process. Next slide, please. So back to masking. Face coverings are strongly recommended to be worn when indoors. Masks will be made available at the school for all those who want or need them. They are not required. Staff and students, regardless of vaccination status, are required to wear a mask when they're returning to school on the 6th day after testing positive for COVID-19 through day 10 after symptom onset, or the date of the positive test, whichever is earlier, including when traveling on a bus. Students and staff, regardless of vaccination status, are strongly recommended to wear a mask when exposed to someone with COVID-19, whether the exposure occurred in or outside of school. The person should wear a mask for 10 days after their last day of exposure and get tested at least 24 hours apart on day 4 and day 5. Again, this is the strong recommendation, not the must, not the requirement. When students are moderately to severely immunocompromised and masking is recommended by their healthcare provider, they should also wear that mask, and in crowded indoor settings. Regarding ventilation, please know that schools are still using the air purifiers that were distributed when schools returned from being remote, and there should be at least 2 in every classroom. Building ventilation will continue to be monitored daily. And the next slide, thank you. Regarding vaccine mandates. So for adults and visitors, they are still in place. That includes parents and visitors of any kind. For students involved in PSAL and high-risk activities, such as band or dance, where heavy breathing, where exhalation is involved, and exercise, they have lifted that vaccine mandate. So students on the football team, students on the baseball team, band and dance, they do not any longer have a vaccine mandate. Regarding school bus health and safety procedures, regarding ventilation, where practicable and weather permitting, buses will operate with the windows open and with an air system on the bus in the non-recirculating mode. Physical distancing is not required on school buses. And know that, as of March 7th of last year, and this is still in place, face coverings, masks, are no longer required on school buses. While wearing a face covering is no longer required, anyone who chooses to wear a mask may continue to do so. Face coverings will continue to be available from the bus operator. So know that your children can get face masks from the bus operator and from school personnel within the school building. And of course, and this is repeated many times because the system wants to repeat it many times, face coverings are strongly recommended to be worn when indoors, though not required. In addition, routine cleaning of surfaces will be maintained. And now I believe Shona is up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Breyer, and thank you so much, Council. I'm going to very briefly talk about where we are with attendance for District 75. As many of you know, Joan Borland left our district a few months ago. We have still not been able to replace her. So Adam and I have been sharing her former responsibilities. So what I want to share with you tonight is what we're looking like in District 75 for attendance as compared to the entire city. So you can see that in New York City as total, there's 1,605 schools. The scan rate, and by the scan rate, we mean the percentage of rosters that have been scanned into the ATS attendance machines, is at 98.5%, and the attendance rate as of September 22nd was 87.4% across the entire city. District 75 has a better scan rate, but a lower attendance rate. And I know that many of you know that some of the reasons are some of the transportation issues that some of our students and families have and other issues. One thing that I do want to point out, and although this attendance rate is not where we want it to be and what we are working on, that this time last year, our attendance was at 67.5%. So in terms of how we are doing collectively, we are doing much better last year than doing much better this year at the beginning of the school year than we were last year. Having said that, though, attendance is something that we have a real commitment in the district to pay attention to. And I think that there are certain issues and certain circumstances for our students and our families that present unique challenges than to our colleagues in districts 1 through 32. So if you could pull up the next slide, that would be great. So I just wanted to share with you what we're doing in terms of looking at attendance. It is a priority in District 75, and I see that busing is critical, and I'm going to get there, Council Member Spencer. We do meet internally weekly to review data, identify trends, and target supports to school. And one of the goals that our leadership team has is to be able to share not only when we are looking at this data, but to figure out what is the impact of busing and transportation? What is the impact of students who have to be absent because they have medical appointments or they have other things that they have to do, and be able to tell that story and be able to see what we can do to work with our colleagues in Office of Pupil Transportation and across the entire city and agency to remove those barriers. We're also asking schools to make attendance a priority and to make the root causes of those absences and target supports to students to remove any barriers to attendance. So while it is true that there are challenges that our students have in terms of transportation, there are also challenges that we have in terms of making sure that families know that attendance every day is important, where the benefits are of coming to school, taking that extra moment from a school staff member to connect with the child and to celebrate the days that they do come in and find out and be their mentor when they're not coming in, to sort of help them figure out what's going on. And we are also working with the central attendance team to identify and address barriers to attendance. And that was what I was referencing earlier, such as some of our transportation, medical needs, and movement between programs and schools. One of the things that we've discovered as we've gone through the last year or so of looking at our data is that sometimes it looks as though students aren't attending when in fact they're in a different program or they've moved to a different location. And so we're going to help schools with addressing that and creating better systems to track where our kids are more in real time than we have been able to. I think that is my last slide. So I'm happy to move on to the next thing. Yes, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. The superintendent's fall listening tours will be on October 3rd and October 6th. This will be an opportunity for parents to share their thoughts, suggestions, or concerns with the superintendent and his leadership team. The superintendent and his team have already met with parent leadership groups to listen to their thoughts, suggestions, and concerns. The flyer has been sent to families. Back to school borough-wide events have taken place in Brooklyn and Queens with over 900 families attending thus far. The district will begin its Conversations Over Lunch series for families in October. The workshops will be virtual and approximately 1 hour in duration. Families will get some hands-on information to help students apply what they are learning in school while out in the community. A list of family workshops for October is being created and will be sent by the end of the week. Schools are continuing the campaign of assisting families as they sign up for NICSA. Next slide.
So I'm happy to share some updates on Natalie's behalf from the Office of Transition and Post-Secondary Planning. In reference to the District 75, it's school emerging leaders program, the summer youth employment program, we had 1,022 applications that were processed and 1,012 youth who participated in the 6 weeks of the summer youth program, which was really tremendous and invigorating to see. Younger youth aged 14 and 15 received a stipend, and our older young people were paid $15 an hour. District 75 has been awarded a contract for this year to administer a new grant, a Work, Learn, and Grow Special Initiatives Program for the upcoming school year for 105 of our youth. The program creates a year-round opportunity where youth will strengthen work readiness skills, explore careers, and receive academic support, which we're very excited to announce include opportunities to earn college credits and inform our young people's plans for their post-secondary education. The participants in the Work, Learn, and Grow program will be offered credit-bearing and non-credit-bearing college course opportunities, and these will be affiliated with Kingsborough Community College. This academic instruction as a portion of that program will be combined with college and career exploration activities, as well as internship opportunities. So much more to come on this exciting program. It will be 250 total program hours, meeting the following eligibility requirements. Students must be 16 to 19 years old as of October of this year, enrolled in NYC DOE school, a participant of this summer's summer youth employment program. They have to be a resident of one of the 5 boroughs of New York City and must be legally allowed to work in the United States. So this was just released on September 19th, and the application deadline is soon approaching on the 30th. So we're very excited for this opportunity for our students. We also will be continuing District 75's Magnet Lincoln Center Ambassadors Program. In partnership with Lincoln Center, 10 or more youth from across all of our boroughs will continue to receive a career readiness instruction and will have the chance to complete either virtual or in-person internships through Lincoln Center. And these take place on weekday afternoons after school or on weekends. And this is a stipend-based program so students will be paid for the work that they're doing. And we're very excited for the continuation of this program during this fall and the spring of this year. Also, a very popular program within District 75 is STEAM for Girls. This is a program that will continue, consisting of a series of workshops for teenagers and young adults ages 14 to 21. And this very popular opportunity will provide them with opportunities to explore and learn about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, as per the STEAM acronym. The participants in the program will be able to engage in hands-on learning and exploration of careers for women to participate in the field of STEAM. This will be resuming in the fall in Queens and in the spring in Staten Island and Manhattan, so stay tuned. And also another very popular series is our Journey to Independence series, a series of workshops for students and families that promote independence and safety skills at home and in the community prior to students' opportunity to participate in District 75's travel training program. So this provides the readiness skills for our students to prepare for understanding what's necessary to travel independently. The students in this pre-travel training program will have an opportunity to learn about and work towards the improvement of their skills necessary to navigate environments independently and in their communities. This has been tremendously popular opportunities for our families and for our students on their journey towards independence. And this program will resume in the spring in Staten Island and Queens. And we now move on to related service updates.
Shelley, if Helen is not able to unmute, I will then give you a break and just do this slide. So we have identified 29 contracted agency paraprofessional to our school, and we continue, as we often do, to canvass the field for an additional 86 students who are awaiting STP paras. As you know, many times we don't have paras in our school that want to take some special transportation position. When that happens, the district office step in and we contract with agency paras to support our student, because we don't want any student to be missing school because they don't have their special transportation paras in place. And that is why we want to do our utmost to make sure if we don't have the people available in our schools, we can do that by contracting out. So we don't want to leave any rock unturned, and that's why we invest fund into into this extra personnel just to make sure we are meeting the IEP mandates. DOE related service providers are currently serving 6,731 counseling, 293 hearing education, 15,000 OT, 6,950 physical therapy, and 22,300 for speech and language, and 193 vision education mandates. As you can tell, although we are not meeting all of our mandates at 100%, but we have reached, as I stated to you before, the highest rate we have ever reached in District 75. And that is not because of me, it's because of the team here, and is mostly because of the tireless work of Angela Torres, connecting with our school, connecting with our principal, making sure that whenever there is a vacancy there, she step in and she aligned the school with the proper assistance. And this is a work we will continue to do because we want to make sure as much as we can, we provide our students with their mandated services. Our Office of Related and Contractual Services has issued 4,051 related services individual authorization form to families. They continue to support school and families in identifying providers. This is not the ideal for us. We would love to be able to provide services to every student in District 75, but sometime we may have someone that has taken a leave, or we don't have people willing to go in certain schools, certain places. Then therefore we have been providing RSAs and to support families. And we also try our very best. And then I know Angela is very much on top of that with her team, making sure also we are not only providing the RSAs, but we are connecting also families with some agency providers. We have also been hiring related services staff in all disciplines, and that continues to be a priority for us, because we want to make sure that we remain in full compliance with our student IEPs. But there is no forced labor anywhere. We need to have the staff available and willing to take certain position. We continue to recruit. Helen, Angela, and other members of their team reach out to universities sometime and colleges, and they make sure that we always have a good pipeline to bring some more related service staff to the district. So thank you. Is there another slide? So I am pleased to share with you District 75 upcoming event. One thing we have tried to do is get back to the good places, the great places we used to be before the pandemic. We don't want to wait for everything to be just the same to resume some of those great events that we used to have. You saw, thanks to your help and partnership, members of the council, you saw how together we have had 2 successful back-to-school events. We had planned them with you. Though this is really your ideas, your recommendation, your suggestion at work. That's why we want to continue with other district-wide events, such as the STEM Fair, that you remember we had it on the Intrepid, and Art Festival. If you had missed one of our art festival, then you need to make it your business not to miss this year's art festival, legal leagues. And so all these are great events to see gifted and talented children and our students are in District 75. Middle and high school debates. We have great debaters, great champions, great speakers among our students. And STEM for girls, that you know so much about. And finally, Journey to Independence series. You guys have been so much part of it as we were trying to bring travel training back into a better place. We have initiated this program, Journey to Independence, to ensure that our students continue to be as independent as they can be, so they can learn to navigate the street, they can learn to engage with community members. And that's why those programs are those events are so very important to our district, because it gives our children a platform, right? A platform to perform and to showcase their skills. And that's why we want to bring all of them back. So thank you. So this is the end of our presentation. We were so very happy to share all these highlights with you. I don't know if you have any questions, but the PowerPoint will be available to you to refer to. As I stated before, nothing we have achieved in District 75 is because of the work of one single person. We have the whole team here with you. Many members of our team are here. Some of our directors are here. Our board liaison are here. Our deputies are here. I am here, and you, our hardworking parents, are here, and we have been doing this work with you. I want to tell you that there is so much more we need to continue to do, and we will deepen our partnership with you. You can see when we really collaborate what kind of events we can have together. I am very pleased and happy when I walked into 721K schoolyard or 233Q field and see, the council. You are at your tables, you are engaging with our families. We have agency partners there. This is the work we need to continue to do on behalf of our children. There is no room whatsoever for us to be working in silos, for us to be working back to back. We want to be working hand in hand and making sure we continue our great collaboration to support our students. This is not only work that the district and parents are doing. Our school staff are so very much invested in this work. When you go to this event, I have to tell you, I just show up, but there are people that have been doing great work behind the scene with you, moving tables, setting up tents, carrying water. Some of our students, ladies and gents, have been, I would say, hired just to support those events. We need to empower them. We need to support them, and we need to show them that, hey, listen, we trust you. We know you're gonna do a good job, because if we don't do that, are we gonna ask a nursing home to do that? Are we gonna ask Brooklyn Hospital to trust them? Are we gonna ask another organization to trust them if we, the people, the members of the District 75 families, we don't do that? I see some principals are with us tonight. That's to show you all of us. We are all enlisted, and we are all part of the work. I want to recognize each and every one of them and thank them for being here. They're not mandated to be here, but that just shows you the level of dedication and commitment that we have across the district. You need to hold us accountable. You are the people we work for. You are the people that find a way to put money in our pocketbook. And we want to continue to work with you to make sure our students continue to thrive. This is it for me, ladies and gents, and I will stop here and I will pass it over to Co-President Sai.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Son. This has been a very long and wonderful and back to school informative presentation. I want to thank you and your team and the deputy. I just wanted, I see your hand, Co-President Celia, give me a second. I just wanted to recognize that we have all of our 11 members on tonight. Council Member Celia Green, Council Member Christy Montalvan, Christy Angel Morales, Joanne Jones, Craig Spencer, Jamel Lawrence Sr., Aisha Husband, Constance Sudud, and Patricia Dewitt, and myself, Amy Ming Tsai. So please put on record, Record Secretary Christy Montalvan, please.
that everyone's present for this meeting tonight. Co-President Celia Green, you may speak.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Gotta move my thing away. Sorry. Just, all you gotta do is turn yours on. Okay. That better? Yeah. Hang on. Okay, so let me go to the speaker. Hold on a second. Gotta speak. You don't have to go. Can you pick up from here? Yeah, see? Okay. All right. Thank you.
You want the camera to show you?
No, just the. All right, good evening, everybody. I just want to suggest, because leaves like an hour left. If because we're allowing the public superintendent questions, instead of their questions or comments to just a minute. So is there anyone in the audience that has a question for the superintendent? Thank you.
Celia, are you asking for questions or comments from the public?
Did it pick it up? Yes.
Do you want to do it now? Do you want to, we can wait till the public comment, and if public and the superintendent's office can wait till toward the end?
No, let's do that now.
Okay. So
5-6 minutes.
sure. Councilmember Joanne Jones, can you put for 6 minutes on the timer for this public comment for the superintendent's office? Any members of the council or public would like to share a question or a comment in this section, please raise your hand. We want to keep time fair for everyone, so we're going to keep it to 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Anyone would like to share a question or a comment? What's that? I don't see any hands, and no one has unmuted. In the Spanish line. Do you have a question or comment in the Spanish line?
Hi, this is Rafael, one of the Spanish interpreters for tonight. And there is somebody, but due to the echo in the background, I was not able to get her name, but she wants to know if at any moment in time there would be busing available for the after-school programs.
Superintendent Lassonde, do you have an answer?
I will, what I could say and will say is that we are always in conversation with OPT because as council member Spencer just wrote here in the chat, busing is critical to everything we do in District 75, and that include our after-school program. We are still negotiating and in conversation with Central to know if we're gonna have a full-fledged after-school program this year. So we don't want to put the cart before the horses. When that decision is finalized, we will absolutely continue to engage with OPT to make sure they can support us with busing, because we know without busing and transportation, no program can truly be as successful as as they can in District 75. Shona, I don't know if you care to add anything.
No, thank you, Superintendent. We would love it if we could have transportation for after school. And it is certainly a goal of our colleagues in Office of Pupil Transportation. We're not there yet, but I can assure you that we all share that goal. That would be great, wouldn't it? So, you know, we are still working on after school and we are still working on our transportation options. And it's great to have families ask, because that gives the superintendent and me and the team leverage to say, this is something that our families really want. We heard it at a meeting. We know it. They're very clear about that. So thank you for the question. And we will see what we can do about that.
This is the Mandarin interpreter speaking. There's no participant on the Mandarin line want to ask any question at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a question in Spanish line again? No, okay. Anybody from the public have a question or a comment? We also have someone on the phone, so I believe it's star 9 if you want to unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's not the symbol.
That's just, okay. I see a hand up. Hope. You may unmute yourself.
Hi, I had a question about the collaborative schools. Do you know what schools specifically will be participating in that? Or what schools are currently participating in it already?
So we have had a variety of partnerships over prior years. We have had some partnerships going back as far as the first incarnation of the program that was in 2017. Based on all of the shifts and changes over the course of the pandemic, we are doing a call for new applications for the program, and that is going to be coming up this fall. So we'll be able to announce more information on the partnerships that are selected for the borough hubs for that program in a future meeting. So we'll make sure that we convey that information to all of you.
Did you have another question?
No, she answered my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else has a question or a comment?
I have a comment.
Go ahead. You may speak. Who is that?
Oh, Wanda Balines.
Good evening, Wanda.
Hi, how are you? I just want to say that if it was not for the support and the encouragement and the leadership, I want to say thank you, because Mr. Marlene Huggard was my principal from P17X. And because even though he's no longer my principal, he is the Bronx liaison, and he has been a staunch supporter. Everything that I do is because he's always giving me encouragement. And I want to say thank you, because everything I do is because he has been there. And I want to say thank you to Ms. Kleinberg, and definitely to Mr. Luis Saint, because everything that I do is always for the benefit of our students. And if it was not for them, I would not be doing anything. So if anything, you guys always have me on your side, and you will always gonna have me on your side, okay? Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Wanda. Did we have another question or comment? We want to savor some time for the council.
Co-President
public
Tsai,
Co-President Green, you're muted.
Look what Mr. Vicente said.
Co-President Green.
And none of the members of
Co-presidents, I
Co-President
want to get a
Thomas, I'm
chance.
sorry, we're trying to figure it out because we're all in a room together.
So I wanted.
Councilmember Spencer had his hand up for a long time, so I
Oh,
want to
that's
give him
okay.
comment.
I can barely hear.
Actually, she
Celia.
was speaking about me having my hand up, Co-President.
Councilmember Spencer, go ahead with your comment.
Thank you, Co-President Green. I appreciate that. Greetings, everyone. I want to just applaud the superintendent and his team in terms of taking the time out to break down everything. I want to ask, first of all, mention that I just put in the chat the council's email address, d75council@schools.nyc.gov. We have committees that advocate for certain aspects of our lives, like busing, like capacity, like transition. So please utilize our email address so we can help you advocate for your children. And the question that I had, and I thank you, co-presidents, is to the superintendent and his team in reference to this deck. Will it be made available for the council to spread to their communities? I know my daughter's school, 771K, Education with a Heart, had a PA meeting today, so I want to make sure they get this information. Thanks for the time.
That's a very good question, Mr. Spencer. Thank you for asking it. And thank you for your continued support as well. Yes, we have shared this information with our schools. As you know, it's every school community's decision to use it as they see appropriate. And yes, this deck will be available to the council as well.
Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, co-presidents, for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Councilmember Spencer. Are there any other questions and or comments from the general public before we move on, or from any other CCD75 council members?
Councilmember Husbands did say she wanted to raise her hand, but the feature isn't working.
Okay, please go ahead, Councilmember Husband.
Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge that I noticed, based on the goals and the new or returning programs, that the district has listened to our needs and our wants, and I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember Husband.
And thank you, Council Member Husband. I think we will be even deepening our partnership with you, because as we are gathering feedback from our superintendent listening and learning tools, we want to make sure we sit together, we triage there, or whatever the best term might be, and so we can create the proper tools or way to address those concerns. So we are looking forward to collaborating more with the council. But thank you for the acknowledgement.
Thank you, Superintendent Louisant. All right, so are there any other questions, comments? I see no hands or no signs up. So without further ado, we're going to move into the next portion of our agenda, which is the update. So I am going to turn it over to the co-president. Co-president signs to give an update on the upcoming CCD75 Chancellor's Town Hall.
Thank you,
Forgive me,
Co-President.
forgive me.
Yes, go
Sorry.
ahead, Councilmember Spencer.
So I just want to respectfully request that the co-presidents ask for the rest of the agenda to be adopted, especially in light of the time frame that we have.
Yes,
Please.
we can
Okay,
do
so
that. That's fine.
I will ask for the, for there to be a motion for the agenda to be adopted and that, adopted and somewhat extended, if possible, to probably 9:15, 9:30 in order for us to get everything else done on the agenda. We'll try to do a speed round as fast as we can. So if we
So
can get a motion for that,
I have a question, Co-President Green.
go ahead.
Thank you, Co-President Green.
Go ahead.
So I know being on the hiring committee, I believe in hiring committee chair, co-chairs either CDU or Jewett. I think we were supposed to go on an executive session this week or at our business meeting to review, because I didn't see that on the agenda, and I just want to.
That will happen during, I think, our update, the question, Council Chair Acidius. He's asking about, the hiring committee.
Into the executive session.
All right, so there'll be an update. There's part of it that doesn't have to be an executive session, so that will be updated, and then if we do have to, someone will make a motion and we'll do that. Okay? So right now, we're looking for a motion to adopt the agenda with the possible extension of time to 9:15, 9:30 top.
Right, and what I'm respectfully asking is just in reference to the agenda. That's why I asked. Now, my second ask for is, I was going to ask to put some other things in the agenda, but I don't want to do that. I don't see on the agenda preparations for October 12th business meeting. So if we can add to tonight's agenda items to be put on October 12th's agenda, that's the only thing I want to add to tonight's agenda, because I don't see that on there. I see general
All right,
public
so make the
comment,
motion.
announcements, and
Make the motion with the addition of that.
I'm sorry,
Huh?
interrupt you. You're already in a motion? Aren't you requesting?
No, I'm requesting one. I'm requesting one.
Are you
So-
withdrawing the request? That's what I'm asking.
No, I'm not withdrawing the request. So make the motion with that in it.
so I would like, respectfully, I'd like to make a motion to pass, motion to adopt the current agenda with the addition being toward the end that there's a section for adding agenda items to our October 12th, 2022 business meeting. I motion to adopt the agenda with that addition.
Okay, can I get a second? It's been motioned, properly motioned by, Councilmember Spencer. Can I get a second?
Councilmember Jewett, second.
Councilmember Jewett is seconding. Councilmember Montalban, can we get a roll call, please? Vote.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
For the agenda, Ms. Amy
Mhm.
Meng-Tsai. Amy Meng-Tsai,
Yes.
Mr. Craig Spencer,
Yes.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence. Shamel Lawrence, oh, your hand up for yes. Ms. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Ms. Christy Montalban, yes. Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Ms. Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Aisha Husbands,
Yes.
Ms. Celia Green,
Yes.
Ms. Constance Asiadu,
Yes.
Ms. Patricia Jewett,
Yes.
Okay, you have 11 votes for yes, the motion has passed.
Thank you, Councilmember Montalban. Okay, moving right ahead, we're going to go into discussion of CCD 75, Chancellor's Town Hall. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lawrence just said he had something to add to the agenda. Go ahead, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah, I wanted to add to the agenda the protocol or the D75 email.
The protocol for what? D75 email, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else want to add anything else before we have to go through this again? Any other council members, sorry? Okay. Are you motioning, Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I move that we add to our agenda the protocol for the D75 council email address.
Okay. Can I get a second, please? It was been motioned by Mr. Lawrence. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
I just got a second from Councilmember Asidu, so it was motioned by Councilmember Lawrence and seconded by Councilmember Asidu. Can I have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Montalban again?
We skipped the discussion aspect.
Can we finish the motion and then do the discussion aspect? All right. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion?
What, could you repeat the motion again? I didn't hear it clearly. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Mr. Lawrence, Councilmember Lawrence, motioned for a discussion on the protocols for the D75 email. It's talking about the D75 at schools.nyc.gov.
Oh, we could just discuss that without a motion. I mean, unless everybody wants to vote on it. I mean, yeah, okay.
No,
Thank
we
you.
already have motion in progress, so, and it was seconded by Councilmember Asidu, so let us have a roll call vote, please. Councilmember Montalban.
Okay, we are voting on the motion to add the discussion of protocols for the council email address to tonight's agenda. Miss Amy Ming Tsai,
Yes.
Mr. Craig Spencer,
Yes.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Yes.
Miss Christy Angel,
Yes.
Miss Christy Montalban, yes, Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Miss Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Miss Aisha Husbands,
Abstain.
Miss Celia Green,
Yes.
Miss Constance Asidu,
Yes,
Miss Patricia Jewett.
you stepped out for a moment.
Okay, we have 9 votes for yes and 1 abstention. The motion has passed.
Thank you, Councilmember Montalban. Okie dokie. So let's get back to the agenda. And third time's the charm. So we're gonna have an update on CCD 75 Chancellor Town Hall to take place October 17th, 2022. Please go ahead, Co-President Sykes.
Sure. If there's anything you want to add for President Green, please do so. So the Chancellor Town Hall will be at be on Monday, October 17th at 6:30 to 7:30. That will be the forum. We are expecting an early introduction of the council at between 6 and 6:30, and expecting council members to be on time or earlier, around 5:36. It will be in person as well as hybrid, and we will make sure that people participating from the D75 community. So it will be virtually televised by Learning Commons. The flyers for the translation and the interpretation services are provided by FACE, and they will get that out soon for the District 75 Superintendent's Office as well as the Council for distribution and outreach. We are still planning on getting collectively the questions from the public. There's a Google form that was shared with the council as well as the superintendent's office to share wide with the community in collecting those questions prior to the Chancellor Town Hall. So please do so, so that we make sure everyone's voice is included at this event. We are still working on a few other items. So we will update the council at the next business meeting, which will be the meeting before the Chancellor Town Hall. Co-President Green, if you want to share, please do so.
I just wanted to add a couple of things. One, the Chancellor is going to be virtual. So we were going to do hybrid and stuff, so anyone that wants to speak to the Chancellor and so forth. So I'm not really sure that we should still do hybrid, only because the Chancellor actually will not be there. Like he will be there, he'll just not be there in person. So but we can still follow and up on that and discuss that a little further down.
Has it been determined who from the DOE will be there in person?
They weren't really planning to.
Can we get an update from Jose Gonzalez or Face Icon, because Face has been updating the council as to the logistics. Jose, if you're there, appreciate if you come in.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council members. Thank you, Co-President Sai and also Co-President Celia. I think that, let me put my camera on. So I think that you probably have been given the most of the details of the town hall that we discussed last week. Right now, I think there hasn't been any changes or any update. I think have the flyer is almost done and probably will be out soon. And as also Councilmember Sai and Celia mentioned, we are gonna be providing interpretations and also other sign language tools for the community. And there's gonna be also opportunity for us doing from Face and other personnel just going to the location just to go to do a walkthrough and just work out the logistic of the building. And as soon as we have many other details in regards to that or any other update, then I will continue providing those updates to council members Sai and also Celia, so they can share with the council. But as for now, I think that's council member Sai, I think that you stated most of the detail that we discussed last week.
To my understanding, the Chancellor and members of his cabinet will be in person.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
in person.
would it be okay?
Councilmember Sai, Mr. Mojica is going to speak on to that. So go ahead, Mr. Mojica.
Good evening, everyone. No, so just wanted to reconfirm that the Chancellor would be in person at the town hall, that there is a virtual component, as Jose was talking about, as Amy and Celia were talking about. But the Chancellor and members of his team will be at the site in person.
Okay, all right. So that will definitely be at I believe this will, I'm not even sure if it's confirmed, so, meaning the building, the other building, so, which is Spruce Street. Go ahead, Amy, if you have anything else to add to it.
No, that was the only thing that you just added, which will be at 12 Spruce Street, which is the Spruce Street School at P94M is downtown, right across from City Hall. It is ADA accessible. There's an elevator that goes up to the auditorium, and we will have a spare room for council members and the Department of Education staff members beforehand. And we are confirmed with the superintendent's office with a permit at a space. So really want to make sure that members can get there before as early as can, so that we can start on time. And we want to make sure that we also have questions during the slips that are available for in-person, as well as the platform for questionings over learning times, as well as the collected questions. So there is going to be planning in between with the questions. So we'll have some more updates. That's it, Celia.
Thank you, Councilmember Tsai. Do you also want to do, because you were at both, I was not at the Queen's event, so I was not well. So do you want to do an update on the, sorry. Actually, I'm sorry, Councilmember Angel, do you want to do an update on the back to school event? On the 2 that have happened and the 3 that are coming? The Brooklyn and the Queens has already happened.
Sure. I cannot actually give the list about the the vendors that are coming. I do not have that currently in front of me. However, the events have been going really well, as the superintendent has stated. I know for outreach, we have added 65 people to our mailing list from Brooklyn. We added 148 from Queens. So things are going really well there. And we have our next event with the district, which is going to be on October 1st, this coming up Saturday at P188X. And that's at 7:30 Concourse Village in the West Bronx. And that'll be from 11 to 3. So for all the parents that are on, if you could please make sure to reach out to your parent coordinators, because you will need to register for the events. And any students that are receiving supplies will need to be D75 students. There will be a movie that will be played at 1 o'clock, and your children will need to be vaccinated if they are to participate with that film. I will be posting up more information on our website and social media with the flyers, and I'll also put it in the chat again in Spanish and in English so that the people can have that. And that is my update in brief. I do know Mr. Spencer may have something that he wants to say for the ad hoc committee, since he's also tabling with us.
Before he starts, though, I want to ask a question. Sorry. You said the children coming has to be D75, which we know, but to receive. If they hadn't registered and they're D75, because we have some families that might not register in time or something like that, if they come and there's D75, can they still?
From my understanding, from as per Miss English and Mrs. Andrea Roberts, they will need to be registered, because they are getting the supplies based on the parent coordinators to know how many things to bring to each site. If Miss English is on, would you like to speak to that? If not, then that's.
I'm sorry, Christy, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I barely have
okay.
a voice, I'm sorry. Yes, if families come, we have enough supplies for District 75 families who don't register, but we really would encourage families to register.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Inglis. Thank you. And thank you, Councilmember Angel. And now go ahead, Councilmember Spencer, please.
Thank you, Treasurer Angel and Co-President Green. I want to uplift, as Outreach Chair, the support that I got from Treasurer Angel. She's, while I'm working and doing work in family, she's really helped uplift the committee in the committee I chair specifically. So in this space, I want to make sure that I uplift her efforts and show the appreciation. For my specific, and just for the public's review, the committee that I chair is the Election Communication Ad Hoc Committee. in reference to the upcoming elections this spring for this council, as well as one member on every CEC. There was about 6 or 7 specific signups for our accounts for this committee. The most we had interest from both parents and some PCs that came by. One of the biggest signups that I have is an ally of this council, Ms. Paola Jordan from Synergia, who had let me know last Saturday that she has a program that she's fostering in her organization in Synergia in terms of parent leadership. So I'm looking to collaborate with her and see if we can get our D75 parents into that support structure. I did schedule the next committee meeting for this to be October 17th, but that's got to be changed because of the town hall. So I will work with the co-presidents in terms of getting that rescheduled. But I want to lastly just thank Ms. Inglis, Ms. Robertson, Superintendent and his team for allowing for giving us the CCD75 and President's Council a space to outreach to our parents and to fortify our district, to lay the seeds to make sure we find it better than how we found it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Spencer. Okay, so I want to go to an update on CCD75 participation at the 2002 Disability Pride Parade, which will be this Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. I wanted to go to 2 or 3 people, actually. So I'm going to start with Councilmember Co-President Tsai, and then go to Mr. Lawrence, who's on the Disability Pride Parade Committee. And go ahead, Co-President Tsai.
I don't have the information. I'm not the point person in this event. It's Councilmember Christy Angel and District Executive Assistant Sasha Inglis. So I would defer to that. Okay.
All right, no problem. So Councilmember Angel, please go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I'll be very brief. The information was sent out to the council. I can make sure to send it out again and also put what I'm saying on our website and social media for the parents to also have that. So set up for anyone who's going to be tabling with outreach or with the district, you'll need to be in Union Square at 11 o'clock. But setup will begin overall for the parade at 9 a.m. If you are participating but not marching, you can get to Union Square at 11 o'clock. There's not going to be security for the signage or any of the tables, but they will be able to direct you where to go once you get there. Mr. Lawrence will be around, but when you get to Union Square, you'll be able to know where to go. Mr. Lawrence did also mention that Shelley Kleinberg will be our point person for Section E, which is our lineup at Madison Square Park at 10 a.m. She will be giving out 100 t-shirts for all of the people that will be walking with us, parents, staff, children, etc. The parade will start at 11 a.m. sharp. We'll be marching from Madison Square Park, East 26th Street to Madison Avenue to Union Square. That's really the gist of everything. So if you can make sure to be available at Madison Square, 26th Street East at 10 a.m. Shelley Kleinberg will be our point person. If you are tabling, please meet us at Union Square. I will be there earlier to help out Mr. Lawrence or anyone else from the district at 11 o'clock. And I will make sure to have all of these things available to everyone on our website and social media as of tonight.
Thank you. Hold on a second, Councilmember Angel. Do you have a question? No, go ahead.
10 a.m. is when you have to be at Madison Square Park if you're participating in the parade. And the parade starts at 11. What is the table issue about? You have to repeat that.
Tabling will start at 11 o'clock. However, you know, they're going to have the entertainment, other things that'll be going on with the parade from 12 to 3 p.m. in Union Square. So for tabling, you only need to arrive at 11 a.m. Of course, they are setting at 9 if you want to come earlier, but you.
For the people who are working the table, that's what I'm trying to understand.
11 a.m.
Is a separate, marching in the parade is a separate item. It's
Correct. Correct.
That's what I'm trying to
Right, so for 10 a.m., you would meet at section E for those that are walking. I can't hear you.
I said I heard.
She said she heard the time.
I just wanted to know the difference between the two. I got it.
Oh, got you. Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Angel. We're gonna go to Councilmember Lawrence.
Yeah, I would just add to that, actually on Shirley's, Canberra is gonna be in front of, Shake Shack. So you would go to Shake Shack to get your stuff. That's what would, by Sasha. So if you get a t-shirt for the first 100 people that come, once they gone, they gone. This watch, because we was on a meeting tonight, it might be a possibility that if the weather turned back, up on the site. So keep a look on the site. There's a tracker for the weather. If it turns bad, the parade will be postponed. So please keep an eye on that. It's up on the actual web. And I think Miss Angel cover everything. Yep.
All right. Do you want to mention the website though that they have to go to, that people can go to find out the information on the parade?
Yeah, if you give me a minute, I drop it into the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you very much,
No
Councilmember
problem.
Lawrence.
No problem.
All right, moving on. Okay, quick discussion, because I'm cutting this short.
And I just,
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. I just want to
Go ahead,
add,
Mr. Lawrence.
the council will be walking right behind the district office. All three bodies will be behind the district. The district will be leading the parade this year. So we will be on D75 will be leading the parade. So and then you guys will follow behind and President Council.
All right, thank you. All right. Hold on, where are we? Okay, next we're gonna go to a really short, I'm not gonna need a whole 10 minutes for this, discussion of protocols for any and all committee meetings and public meetings for D75, which is 99.9% of all meetings we have. All right, so I'm gonna say this. We, as the council members for CCD75, strive our best to be courteous and respectful to all of our guests. And in turn, we are hoping that all of our guests will be respectful as well, to not just to us, but to anyone who we have invited to be on the platform, which means basically the general public. One of the reasons I'm reiterating this is that we had an incident at one of the committee meetings recently. But before I go there, and before I say that, I wanted to make a note also that all current Citywide Council for District 75 council members are able to attend and access any and all of the Citywide Council for District 75 council meeting and committee meetings. They're all open to our membership. Okay, the public is also welcome to attend. The only thing that the public is not allowed to attend, the only meetings that the public are not allowed to attend for this public body are a hiring committee, because we're in the process of hiring right now, an AA, an administrative assistant, and that is not permissible for the public, but other than that, all other meetings are open to the public. And we are hoping to not have another incident like we did, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, in which a city council person was on trying to help us and was basically maligned and attacked by a guest of ours. So we're hoping to never have that happen again, because we, like I said, at D75, always strive to be, at least for the council members, we strive to be courteous and respectful to all. And we expect everyone to be courteous and respectful, whether we are at an in-person meeting, a virtual meeting, or a hybrid meeting. We're asking for guests to please be mindful and please be courteous and respectful to all. If it's not something that you would want to hear said to you, please don't say it to someone else. Because it's more than likely they wouldn't want to hear it said to them either. Another thing I want people to, because we do have a virtual aspect to all of our meetings, I'm going to ask people to be mindful when they have their cameras on. I think sometimes people don't know that they have their cameras on or forget they have their cameras on. And again, there was an incident with some forms of undress for someone. So I'm just hoping that doesn't happen again. So please be mindful that your camera may be on and it would not necessarily just be you seeing it, but not just us seeing you, but you seeing, along with you seeing us, we may be seeing you as well. Okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you. That is it for the protocol update. I will do a further update later on, but in the essence of time, I want to give the 5 minutes that are going to be allotted to the update on and the distribution of the CCD75 annual report for the school year 2021-22, and I'm turning that over to Ms. Angel to give the update.
Thank you. I just wanted to be very, very brief. We have created a really huge master list for distribution. We have the CBOs, assembly members, senators, CECs, regents, teaching schools, media list, and we've sent this out over the course of a week or more to several different agencies, several different stakeholders. We've sent it to the chancellor, to the district, and we're working on getting it trickled downward to the parents. It is posted on our website on the landing page. And we have had several responses back so that we can have some different people trying to work with the district and trying to work with our council to see how they can support us and our vision. So that's where we currently are. The ball is slowly rolling, but we do have the majority of the report fully sent out. The last wave is our media list, and that should hopefully be done by Monday, hopefully Tuesday at the top of the week, and then everything will be out. If anyone does have any additional teaching schools, we would like to send more of those out. I can let everyone know the schools that we have with the council. I'll email that so that you guys can see if there's an addition or if there's another place that you would like it to be distributed. Otherwise, that is my update in brief. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Angel, and thank you for all the work that you put into the annual report. I know it was a lot, it's heavy lifting. We're going to go right into, okay, other important approvals. I'm going to turn that over to my co-president, Ms. Amy Ming-Tsai.
I don't see any approvals for this evening, but that's maybe council members on this platform can update and approve that we need to solidify.
All right, is there anyone? I see Council Member Spencer, go ahead.
Thank you, co-presidents. I think this will be a discussion for in the next business meeting. I don't want to, in the interest of time, but I'm going to seek the council's support, and I want to put a motion on the 12th for us to have a joint meeting with CCD75. My daughter's school, 771K Education with a Heart, has 3 locations in District 22. And on the SLT, my Principal Ferrandino had asked me to see if we can, because we have one of those locations is new. It opened this year. It's elementary school in 203K. So I'm not going to look for it now, but I'm just gonna if it could be on the agenda for next week, because it's not something that's pressing, but I just want to put it on everybody's radar. Yeah, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Spencer. So you want to place on the agenda a joint meeting with CEC22 between us and CC.
Right. Not only highlighting 771K, but any other District 75 schools in District 22.
I think there's only one other in 22, to be honest.
Okay.
But, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, all right, co-president's report. Amy, do you mind if I go first? Because I just have a really quick thing to
Yeah,
mention.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I wear many hats, let's just put it that way. So I am currently a rep on CPAC for the Borough High School President's Council of Brooklyn, which represents all of the high school PAs and PTAs in the Borough of Brooklyn, including the 75 PAs and PTAs that are in the Borough of Brooklyn that happen to be high school. And we had a meeting, CPAC did, with Mr. Mark Rampersant, and he gave a couple of updates. He is the person who is in charge of safety for the entire Department of Education. And one of the things that he mentioned is that this year, with all the school shootings and everything else, there is a new system that will be, right now it can send messages to parents, but I don't think it's not a two-way, it's not an interactive, so it's not receiving messages in that way. But apparently all principals are supposed to be using something called Gamma in order to send messages when there is an emergency in a school. In other words, whatever Gamma is what the parents will get, is the forward-facing thing that parents will see. So if it's a shelter in place, if it's a school lockdown, if it's a hard or soft lockdown, if it's dismissal because of whatever absolute emergency that there is, it will come through Gamma to the parents of that specific school, only to the parents of that specific school. So Gamma is GAMA, and it's rolling out. It should be completely rolled out by the end of November, the beginning of December. And like I said, it's not interactive currently. Currently, it can only send messages if there is an issue in a school. So if there was an active, God forbid, if there was an active shooter or anything else, they would be able to contact the parents of that specific school again, where the incident is, via Gamma. But it's all schools, not just every and all DOE schools are going to use this particular method to do that. The other thing that he did mention is that there was a recent class that graduated of safety agents. There were 200 recent graduates. Right now, as soon as this period is over, there is going to be 150 more agents or potential agents that are going to be entering the academy, that are slated to enter the academy. And then after that, there's one more class of 150 that will go in after that class graduates. So that'll be a total of, 300 plus? So that'll be a total of 500 new safety agents. He did also say that they are more than needed because there are a lot of safety agents who either retired or left for various reasons during and post-pandemic. So most schools are not having as many agents as they would like to necessarily have, but a lot of it is due to a severe shortage. So the other note that he made is that the safety agents are still under NYPD, because I know that for the last like a year prior to COVID or something, they were supposed to go under the building principal. That has not happened as yet, and it's not scheduled to happen anytime soon. So just note that the building safety agents are still under the auspices of NYPD. And is there anything else he said? All right. I also asked him about, because D75 is unique and has the intensive day treatments, and he was talking about mental health services happens to be under his banner right now. I asked him if there were any plans to extend or to expand the IDT program that currently 75 and 79 actually have. And he regretted to tell me he'd never heard of them. He'd never heard of it at all. So we're gonna do some follow-up. He did say he's gonna speak to Ms. Fode, and he also said he was going to speak with Mr. Louisant. So I'm hoping that he does some follow-up there. And in the meantime, I hope we, as CCD75 council members, can do some follow-up with him as well, in terms of that and expansion. And because I think that there are so many cases of students needing the mental health services and the help, and so many families needing it, that is one of the things that really should be expanded. And if someone doesn't know about something, they're not gonna ask for it, so. And that's basically, the follow-up I have from the meeting with Mr. Mark Rampersad. So I'm gonna turn it over to my co-president, Amy Ming Tsai, to continue with the co-president's report.
Sure, I'll keep it really short. It was just, very brief. I had attended the President's Council for District 75 in person at the district office. It was just an introduction of who we are on Citywide Council for District 75, who our members are, and what we're doing this school year, as well as informing how members of the President's Council can contact us and keep up to our information. We also had multiple committee meetings, and I will yield to our chairs and co-chairs for those. There was transition committee meeting, a meeting greet, there was a busing, curriculum, ad hoc of election communication, and capacity utilization meetings the last 2 weeks, or 3, I believe. Also, on Friday, September 16th, we were invited, me and Celia, as co-presidents of the Citywide Council for District 75, for a school visit. We were informed the night before that it will be at P177Q in Queens. Celia was not available to attend, and that school is Principal Duffy, who toured the school and showcased his programs at his building. And we're also very delighted that P177Q is also one of the pilot healing-centered schools in the District 75 community. So we welcome that, and to work in partnership with that school community for this school year. Lastly, I think there isn't really much, honestly. We've just been really busy with the preparation of the Chancellor Town Hall. And I see your hand, Councilmember Chrissy Angel.
Is there a way that the list of schools that are being visited or the list of schools that have been visited can be shared with the council?
Sure. So we've expressed to Sasha English at the district office that there's a school that council members would like to visit. Please let us know, and we can arrange a schedule and also your availability. We don't have a current school visit as of now, so if you have a school or members on this council would like a school visit at a certain school or a site, just send it over. Thank you.
Does that mean they'll get to share it? Like, well, like, I know you were saying that the session for the school was on Friday, but you guys knew a little bit before that. Is there any way where we can share that out? So if council members do want to attend, that they can attend last minute or join you guys, et cetera?
Sure, that's no problem. And again, this will be open for Citywide Council for District 75. President's Council will do also their visit as well. But that has nothing to do with our scheduling. So just send over dates that you're available and what schools that you're interested in visiting. And then also others are welcome to do so. So we'll put it on the itinerary for the district team.
Okay, thank you, council members Angel and Sai. All right, we're going. Christie, or?
Need to, clarification on.
Okay, so go, Councilmember CDU has a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I need clarification on the question Councilmember Angel asked. She asked if the list of visits the ones that have been done, and if there are any plans in the future that are already known of, can be shared with the council. Am I incorrect, Councilmember Angel?
No, you're not.
Okay, and I would like that question answered. If, us sending off our availability is all good and well, but can you share with the council if there are visits that we can join when those things become available to you, so we're aware of them, as well as the schools that have been visited already by members along with the D75 office and the President's Council? Co-President Tsai.
We don't have any future visits as of now. And that visit was only with the superintendent and the co-president, myself and Celia Green.
Okay, I'm just saying, can it be shared with us when you do have visits? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, we can share it.
Okay, so if you would share that with the council, that I'd be eternally grateful, okay? And if we can get a list of schools that have already been visited, because I know Mr. Lawrence and Mr. Spencer visited schools in the past, okay, in this particular term, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mr. Spencer, Councilmember Spencer, I see your hand. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Co-President Green. For transparency, and what Treasurer Angel and Councilmember CDU is asking, the two schools that I was able to visit with, and Co-President Tsai was able to visit on August 10th of this year, was 396K, the main site, Sid Miller Academy, and I apologize that it wasn't made available virtually. I was probably juggling the work schedule, and they just wanted to know what my availability was, so I kind of jumped at it. 7:53, I want to say. 7:53. I'm looking through my notes, but those are the two schools. I did disclose that. 7:53. I did disclose it at the curriculum committee, that I do need to share those notes with co-chairs Lawrence and Jewett, and I intend to do so. Appreciate your patience and understanding. I'll continue to do that, and I'll disclose that to the council as appropriate. So I just want to make sure that's transparent. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Spencer. You said 96K, and it's 753K as well, or?
396 and 753.
All right, both Ks, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Sides. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we go to the treasurer's report, and I'm going to turn that over to our treasurer, Ms. Christie Angel.
Okay, thank you. I will keep it brief. Our overall budget currently right now is showing $24,444. We are currently moving the $350 to line 315 for the media items that we did vote on. That was cleared up. And so we're working with finance to figure out how to go ahead and make those purchases go. In regard to reimbursements, we do have our W numbers. They have been processed, but checks have not been cut and or sent out. The co-presidents and FACE are working on that along with some of the finance department to see what is going on so that we can have a better debrief for the members to know what is going on with the reimbursements. The banner, we will have that made. I'm going to go ahead and just pay for it up front. It's not much. It's only $48. I'm going to be picking that up and making sure that we give that to either Ms. Kleinberg in the morning before I go set up the tables, or if there's going to be a member available, or I'll give it to Ms. Tsai on in the Bronx, depending upon how things work out. But other than that, that is our update for Treasury. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. That I was just gonna say, does any member, any, citywide council member have a question in regard to, the budget?
If no,
Not
then thank you guys
seeing-
so much.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Angel. All right, we're moving on. All right, D75 District Leadership Team. Okay, the President's Council report, I think Ms. Sy did, but Ms. Sy, do you want to, Councilmember Sy, do you want to add anything to the President's Council report?
I think that's, yield to Mr.
Councilmember
Lawrence.
sorry. Councilmember Lawrence, do you want to give a President's Council report, please?
No, we met, we've been attending the, events too with the, D75, council, with the district. We will be having our next meeting, October give me 1 minute. October the 20th, and it will be in Staten Island. It will be at, 15 Fairfair Street, Staten Island, which is Councilmember Baltimore. She was gracious enough. Her PA will be hosting us next month. We will be bouncing from borough to borough. We did manage to pick up, as I announced on President Council, we did manage to 4 more refrigerators that will be storage by D75 schools for our families to go get food for. We are looking for people to help with cleaning them. We have 2 in the Bronx, 1 is Manhattan, and 4 in Queens. We come into Staten Island next. So that's to the report. We continue having our support group virtual. That's always after our meeting on the 4th Thursday of each month, virtual. So report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Spencer, sorry.
President's Council meeting hybrid?
Oh, Mr. Lawrence, is the President's Council going to meet hybrid in Staten Island?
Yeah, we are always hybrid. Yep. Thank you, Constant.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Spencer, I see your hand. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Co-President. Mr. Lawrence, can you provide an update? I know there's a couple of schools that had to have PA elections this month. Was that successful? Do you know?
Now all schools, there's a couple of them that's waning, but majority of our schools are done. There's some that got to be redone because people have left, people have relocated, or people have left out of the DOE. So there's a couple.
Okay.
Have to be done.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. So that's key in terms of
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
make sure. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Election process will be looking different this year for D75. As I told you, I will be taking the lead on that for President Council. So we will be talking what that looks like.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. I yield.
Thank you, Mr.
Co-President Green.
Lawrence.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Spencer. All right, the District 75 District Leadership Team did meet once. I think it was either a day or 2 before school actually opened. We just went over general things, and we were going to have, usually in September, for every SLT and DLT, they usually have elections, so to speak, to figure out who's going to do what. We were going to, and we have postponed it until the October meeting. So at the October meeting, the District 75 DLT, the District Leadership Team, will be having an election then for, for the facilitator, for the chairperson, for the recording secretary, and so on. So that's the update from the District Leadership Team. Moving on, we're going to have next item, update from the committees. So we're going to start with the Transition Committee and then go to the Busing Committee. So Transition Committee, I'm going to ask for Councilmember Montalban.
Sure, hi. Transitions Committee met September 16th. We had a really great intro meeting. I think all the council members and public that attended, it was a really nice meeting where everyone was able to share meaningful feedback with each other. Our next meeting is going to be October 27th at 6 p.m. It's going to be virtual, and we're going to have guest speaker Christina Silva Soto there from Tri-County Care, and she's going to be speaking on getting Medicaid waiver. So that's what's going on there.
Thank you, Councilmember Montalban. All right, the next committee is our busing committee. I'm going to defer to Councilmember Lawrence.
Thank you. So the busing committee met on September the 20th. We had special guests on Councilwoman Joseph. We had a good attendance on over 100 plus people. As you know, busing is continuing to be a problem, ongoing issue. We have a relationship with somebody in OPT that's escalating and into what we given them starting in October. As I stated before, we'll be doing surprise pop-up at our D75 schools just to see the bus condition and what it looks like and what's going on with the busing, along with OPT, a Spectre, to see what's happening. There will be some, our next meeting will be October the 8th, 18. It will be virtual. Was supposed to attend, but because the town hall, he said he would come another month because he didn't want to double to us twice. So we are in the works with getting somebody else to come and listen at that bus committee, and flyers and stuff will be going out shortly from the busing committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence, Councilmember Lawrence. We're going on to, the next committee is you and Ms. Jewett as well. So curriculum committee update? Pat.
Yeah. We had the first thing say thanks to Ms. Jewett, assistant. We met the first time. We had a presentation done by one of our D75 principal from the Bronx school. Every month, what we trying to do with that committee is have somebody in our D75 community, even outside, but we want to get inside first, like our principals, talk about the curriculum in their school so we could get an idea of what's going on. We do have principals have joined. They working hand on hand. They will be working hand on hand with us, and we trying to create something good. There's more to come on that. And the next meeting for the curriculum is October the 11th. Ms. Jewett, you want to add anything?
The thing I could add is that the principal that you had there, he was very well spoken and he was very receptive to all the parent input and very supportive.
Thank you. And next month, we will have one of our Brooklyn principals there from D75 to give her input on what the curriculum look like in her school. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our ad hoc election communication committee. And I am going to ask for Councilmember Spencer to give an update.
Thank you, Co-President Green. So the last committee meeting for the ad hoc was Monday, September 19th. And I was honored to have parent member for panel for education policy, Mr. Tom Shepard, and also CC15 President Camille Casaretti, in reference to speaking about the process of elections and how important it is for parent leadership. As I stated previously, and they had also, as you know, Co-President Green, since you were there, and suggested that we had identified different different councils, CECs that are aware we can collaborate with, start collaboration with. With that being said, that'll be the next move in terms of this committee. Not only that, because we'll be receiving an update from FACE regarding how the process will be to elect D75 parents on each of these CECs, but also I'm proud and honored to have Mr. Lawrence and President of President's Council, Ms. Andrea Daniels, their collaboration in terms of beefing up our PAs and PTAs. So those that want to run for this council here next spring understands the process. So I did mention earlier the next committee meeting was scheduled to be October 17th, but I have to move that. I haven't moved that as of yet. I don't want to conflict with Mr. Lawrence's busing committee on the 18th, and the next PEP meeting will be on the 19th of October. So tentatively, it's going to be the 20th for the ad hoc committee, where I'm looking to focus on the Bronx and invite folks from District 9 and the surrounding districts in terms of introducing ourselves, what D75 parent leadership is, and build up that type of communication and that avenue for parents to empower themselves this spring. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Well, since you're already here, let's do capacity utilization.
Thanks once again, Co-President Green. I'm honored to co-chair this committee with Councilmember CDU. Our last committee meeting was last Thursday, September 22nd, which I was honored to have another PEP member, Brooklyn Representative Mrs. Zad from District 22, which it's another reason why I want to get that support and have a joint meeting to, it's all about fostering collaborations and building up that that avenue to empower our parents to get us to a better place. At that meeting, I also got to uplift Mr. Lawrence and Co-President Tsai for opening these meetings for me because I was coming from work. So in starting that process, so I need to lift them up in that space, in this space. Yeah, so we had, I disclosed what our presentation was on August 10th, the ODP presentation, the numbers, and that was something that panel member Azad was not aware of. I need to get that information to her. So it was just to foster that conversation that we're not just red lines in ODP presents us. We need to flesh that out. We need to own that, and then we need to speak to that at the, as you said at the meeting, Co-President Green, the public meetings before the joint public hearings, and then at the panel, the PEP meetings when they get approved. So that way, it is a work in progress, and it's not on panel member Azad or panel member Shepard or panel member Caleres, Dr. Caleres. It needs to be worked on from us, and we need to bring that. So also I need to leave, I want to wrap up my end and leave space for council members, my co-chair, Mr. Sidiou, to talk about the SCA and prepping our community for that. So Constance, you want to speak to that?
I did want to speak to it. We were supposed to have a presentation from Mona Lisa Chandler on the capital plan and moving forward, how the council should proceed with getting ready to receive all the requests and sending them in to SCA. That, however, will happen at next month's calendar meeting. And also, I do want to state from her, she said that since she did not present, if there are any questions concerning the capital plan that anyone has prior to her presentation at our next calendar meeting in October, they should be sent to the council so that we can, myself and Mr. Spencer can forward it to her. Mr. Spencer, if you would put the committee, actually the committee email in, so those questions can be sent directly there, put it in the chapter, so they can be sent to the council so she can incorporate it in her presentation and answer it.
Okay, so if there are any preliminary questions on that, your lack of understanding, whatever, just let the council know so we have it incorporated so there's a full understanding. Also, we'll be following up with SBA and the request for having 5 top choices per borough as opposed to the 2. As opposed to 1 is what we had before. But to permanently have 5 top choices per borough and change our book. That'll be it. Thank you.
Thank you, Constance, for that. So I put it in the chat, but let me just read this off since this is recorded. The capacity and utilization email address is CCD75 capacity, CAPACITY @gmail.com. Once again, CCD75 capacity @gmail.com. Just one correction, Co-President Green. So the next capacity committee meeting is the 21st. So the ad hoc committee, I've got to find another date. So that's TBD. I'll have another date by our next business meeting, the 12th. Thanks so much for your time, and thank you, Constance.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councilmember Spencer. Okay, next we have, safety. So I'm going to defer husband to that.
Co-President Green.
Yeah.
There's no rooms and there's no participants in the interpretation rooms. Can we relieve our interpreters for the evening?
Yes, we can. So we are officially relieving our interpreters at 9:22 p.m. Thank you to our interpreters. We hope to see you next meeting. All right. Now I'm going to defer over to Councilmember Aisha Husband, please.
Good evening, everyone. The Safety Committee will have a meet and greet October 4th at 6 p.m. We will have a presentation from the Department of Health, Office of Healthy Homes, a short presentation, and just we want ideas of what you want to hear as parents, what information you're looking for in terms of safety and health. So October 4th at 6 p.m. and it will be virtual. The flyers are on I believe on social media as well as the D75 website. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Husband. Our next person is, one second. All right, so we have outreach. We have, do you want to give a quick bylaws? I'm just going to make this brief because we actually have to leave this building now, so a few of us have to get off. Our bylaws, there will be a flyer out next week for the meeting. I was planning on having a meeting for the 26th, but that turned out to be Rosh Hashanah, so that was impossible to do. There will be a flyer going out next week with the bylaws meeting. And I'll update on the bylaws at the next business meeting on the 12th. Yeah. Go ahead, do the hiring. Yes, I'm also doing the hiring. We are at a point where we need to interview one last person. I thought it would be 2, but it will be 1 individual. And email will be going out tomorrow to the council members because we don't have time for discussion on this. I thought we would, concerning that 1 interview. And also moving forward, I recommend with my co-chair, Ms. Jewett, an in-person interview actually for us to decide the date and time, because we do have people who are accepting jobs elsewhere, just so we know. And that's all I'll say to the general public. Okay. All right. Next we have our. All right. She already did annual report, so I'm going to say outreach committee.
Yes, and I will keep it very, very brief. Thank you again. Just a quick run through for the people that are in the meeting. If you look in the chat, there are flyers for the different meetings. And I did also want to say that I put in the submission form for the Chancellor's Town Hall. So if you do have questions, please click on that form, share the form. We would need the questions returned by October 14th. For the website update for outreach, I wanted to let everyone know we are in the process of making our website ADA accessible. So we're working on accessibility. We have all 9 languages on the website now. And I did go on the back end to make sure that all of the users can use their language of origin from their browser. So when they come to our website, they'll be able to automatically see it in their language or choose their language from the website. I am working on the back end to make sure everything kind of lines out for everyone's language, but that's the update. If you do want me to add anything for your committee or any other information on the website, please do let me know. We do have a video hub. We do have a busing page now for the busing committee so that people can easily access what they need, who they need, and the assistance that they need. And that is in brief. If anyone has any questions, I am available. And email me if you have anything that you'd like me to add. Thank you.
Okay. While I have you, did you want to say anything else about annual report, or it was all said in the last?
Nope, all said and done. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And last but not least, legislative. All right.
Chair Green, I don't think, a chair was determined for the legislative.
All right, so we will definitely throw that on the next agenda, to pick a chair and so on. I'm gonna go to, before we go to, yeah. So, before we go to public comment, I'm gonna turn public comment over to Ms. Tsai, because we actually do have to exit the building, like literally. So I'm gonna turn it over to co-chair Tsai, to handle the public comment, and we shall be back on once have exited the actual building. We'll be back on in a moment, so. Co-chair Tsai, can you, ask if there are any members of the public who wish to speak and make public comment, and, put a timer on it I would put a minute and a half at this point. Okay, all right.
Okay, we
A minute
are
and a half
at public comment we are in the public comment for feedback. Again, like Co-President Green said, please keep mindful of time and allowing people to share. So anyone who has question or comment, please raise your hand. We will have you unmute.
Co-President Tsai, Ms. Baez has a comment, and she's in the building with us, so can she go first?
Sure, she can go.
Go ahead, Ms. Baez.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just have a comment. I came in person, I didn't know that the meeting was to be virtual, and we was just waiting outside. I think, they need to get it, because the flyer was out saying that it was, it didn't say anything about virtual, and I came here in person. I think I was very upset, and I felt very, very, unprofessional and disrespectful on that part. I don't know what happened, I don't know who, what, but I think for the future reference, y'all need to handle that better. And also, there was, I think it was 2 months ago, I was on a meeting, I don't know if it was for the public or just for council members, but they kicked me out of Zoom, and I think that was very also unprofessional and disrespectful. And they didn't say anything at all, and it was me and 2 other people that were kicked off, and they didn't say nothing, and we was not allowed to go back. So they need to, put that in check. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Ms. Baez. I just wanted to publicly apologize on behalf of the council. Our flyers were already shared out prior. There was a flyer that went out after we had word that the open meetings law has been extended by the mayor. So I think people were kind of reading the old flyer versus the one that just came out, but I will allow our chair for outreach, Councilmember Angel. I see her hand raised up. Would you like to unmute?
Yes, I wanted to absolutely apologize for any of the confusion. We did end up changing everything virtually on Monday, and the flyer went out, so I know the last minute change. was not the greatest thing. I do feel like maybe if we do have those last minute changes again, if we could have the assistance from the district to send that out quickly on remind, and then just try our best to make sure that parents know what's going on. So I really, really do apologize for that, and we will try to do better.
Thank you. We'll be back on in a minute, so go ahead, Amy, to the next person.
Sure. Any public comments? Any questions? We still have the superintendent here and his team. Any council members have a question or comment? I don't see any hands or anybody unmuting. If any other members see one, please let me know. Okay. And I know it's really late at night. Any council members would like to share an announcement they may have? I just wanted to remind members that there is a meeting with Diana Equabel from FACE in regards to the D75C seat consultation for the local CECs on Monday. That will be at 6 o'clock. Link was shared out in email and also calendar invite. So please look out for that. We also have a council only meeting with the chancellor before the chancellor town hall. So please just read your emails for any update links. We will be waiting for that. And we also just want to be mindful to committees that if you need your flyers translated and you need interpretation for your meetings, please send as early as possible, even before the 10 business days. And I say business days are the days that DOE are in business. They do not include the days that we do not have school. We have holidays this week and also the next few weeks. So please be mindful that you're counting the days before your actual meeting to request for translation and interpretation, and we will get that as soon as possible. So please be mindful of the 10 business days, as well as the distribution to the district office and to the outreach that our council member, Christy Angel, is supporting. If you need assistance, please let us know with any flyers. I know council member Angel would like to assist, so please let her know. And I'm opening up for anyone here on this platform who would like to speak. I see your camera and your hands up, Craig Spencer, then Councilmember Lawrence.
Thank you, Co-President. Yeah, just we had voted on adding to the agenda tonight the council email. So council email. So Mr. Lawrence, was that something that you were going to ask? Because I know
Yeah.
you put up. I yield the floor then.
Go ahead, Councilmember Lawrence.
So, question: do who manned the CCD75 email?
So currently, we do not have an administrative assistant. That email of District 75 council@schools.nyc.gov is me, myself, and Celia, but under the security of the DIIT department, there can only be one primary holder point person for that email, and that person will have the code to access. But me and Celia have discussed this in July when we were transitioning from your position as the former council co-presidents with Mr. Spencer in the change of the email, the Zoom platform, and access to the Zoom platform. And an email was sent during that time with the face liaison, Lynn Sanchez, to give Celia access to her DOE laptop in order to access the email account. There was a ticket put in on July 20th at 1:15 p.m. And DIT responded that there could only be one person for this account. And me and Celia have spoken in person, have spoken to Lynn Sanchez in person over the phone, have corresponded in email. And the response from DIT is that anyone can have access, it's just one code. So I have mentioned to Celia Green that if she needs to access it, I can offer her the code, and she has said yes. So I know Celia is in transport, so I don't know if she's on the platform right now, but I believe she can respond as well.
Yeah, because reason I asked, there was a very serious incident that occurred about busing. Okay, a parent had sent to D75 council a busing complaint. I never got that complaint. She thought I did. She actually cursed me out. And then when she showed it to me, it was from the council. Somebody had responded and said, I will be in contact with you. They never followed back up with her, and it kind of put me in a bad predicament. This is the third time I'm mentioning that I'm not receiving any complaints that's coming to the council email for busing. It should not be sent out. It should be sent to me for me to distribute to who I feel it should go to. It shouldn't go to the district. I'm the chair. It should come to me. This is the third time I'm saying that.
I do understand, and all emails have been sent out from the email of the District 75 to all members on the council. I keep up to date, making sure that emails are not filling everyone's inbox. So every day I'm trying to keep up with sending it out. I have carbon copied Celia Green and all the emails, as well as all the committees. If there's a specific parent, then we can offline reach out to find out who that parent is and
Not receiving,
emails that.
not talking about anything. I said this 3 times on a recording message. I'm not receiving busing emails, and I know they coming there, so they need to be forwarded to me. And you said in the last meeting that you took upon yourself to send them to the district. That's not the way it should happen. It should be point to the chair. I'm asking a third time respectfully, push those emails to me before I could do what I'm supposed to do at the committee chair. Thank you.
I have been sending and corresponding you. There hasn't been that many emails on busing. And all of them has been forwarded and carbon copied you. So again, if there is a specific parent that has reached out to you and they have not gone a follow-up, we can brief on that offline.
Okay, I believe I just made myself clear. I'll leave it as that. Thank you.
Any council members or the public have a comment or a question? Co-President Celia Green, I see your hand up.
I'm sorry, Co-President Sai, I missed some of it because we, myself and Mrs. Sedu and is Pat on here too? Yes, she's on here. And Councilmember Jewett, all 3 of us are outside. We're still at Tweedy, we're just outside. So we're back on the meeting is what I'm trying to say. So I missed whatever happened between the time we told you we were going off and stuff, so.
There wasn't any public comment or questions from the public. The only thing that I did on my part was remind members on the council that there are 2 meetings coming up that's specifically for council members only. And that was shared out. Mr. Spencer wanted to bring up regards to items for the agenda for October 12th. And the item for emails, I did explain to Councilmember Lawrence in regards to the emails that during the time of the transitioning between our face liaisons, Lynn Sanchez and Jose Gonzalez, and then this is being in the month of July. An email was sent out to Lynn to put a ticket for DIT in regards to the email access for yourself and me, for the DI council at schoolsnyc.gov. The response from DIT was that one primary person will have the code and have the access, but both individuals can have access as well. So I've referenced that you and I have spoken in person with Lynn Sanchez on the phone, also in correspondence with the email to Lynn Sanchez. On July 20th at 1:15 p.m. that email went out. And again, if you needed access to the email, I can offer you the code. That's text message, and you were fine with that. And all emails were sent out. Mr. Lawrence, council member, have referenced about the one particular parent with busing issues. He did not get a follow. He was not get an opportunity to follow up with that email, and all of the emails that are sent out CC'd you as co-president Celia Green, and any other committee meeting, committee emails.
Okay, thank you for bringing me up to speed, Co-President Tsai.
Miss Green,
Mhm.
question for
Uh-huh.
you. Do you have access to the email address now?
No, I do not.
Okay, so
No, because if I, only one person can really have access because no, I'm saying right now, only one person has access, only because when we did approach, what do you call it? Lynn, Ms. Sanchez, she said that DIIT would only put one person on file because something had happened, I guess prior or during COVID, and not with our council, but just in general, they were only allowing one person, including, so this is not just any DOE email per se. So, they were allowing one person only to have access. So PA, PTA, emails that are Zoom, same thing with other stuff. So
but
right now, I'm not the primary person.
can I just say something? That's not true because on council, we use the DOE email. Miss Andrea have it, I have it, and so do Camille. So that's 3 of us. Okay, the whole executive board have it. So that's not true. And I'm gonna put a motion that you get access to that immediately, because when me and Mr. Spencer had it, it was all 3 of us. The AA had it, Mr. Spencer had it, had it. So that's a problem. So I put a motion that whatever need to be resolved as soon as possible, because that's not true. More than one person could access that email.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Are we doing this now, or you're putting a motion out now, or?
Yes, I'm in, because you need to have access, because this is a shared position and you should have access as well to know what's going on.
Can I say something, Co-President Green, please?
Sure.
I have stated that Co-President Green does have, is available to have access to it. All she needs is a code. And I'm freely to give it to her when she needs it, because that code comes up like 5 minutes and then it recycles again with a different code. So again, if she needs access, I am open to offer it to her and she can have access to the email. And I think that us moving something that we don't have a capacity in doing, I think we can also defer back to face in regards to that security issue with any access of those platforms.
Ms. Green, she said. That's what I'm hearing. All right.
Okay. You were, what did you say, Mr.? Because there was there was an echo, Mr. Spencer, Mr. Lawrence, sorry, Mr. Lawrence, to what you said.
So based off what she's saying, she's gonna share the code with you. So I perceive,
But the way it works, what I'm saying to you is the way it works right now is that the code goes to one person's cell number kind of thing. So if I'm in the office and stuff like that, you know, it's just difficult. It should actually be both of us and stuff because we're both co-presidents. So it really should just be both of us. Okay, so I'm open to further. Go ahead.
Seeing that, I remember in one of our meetings, we were talking about the co-presidents are actually looked at as one individual. You both definitely should have access. The ticket is already in. How do we get FACE to support us to give you the access? I know they said it's only one person, but did they clarify that our co-president functions as one person? Like, do we ever get clarity on that?
I have, in speaking to them, yes. However, you are right. We should follow up. We should follow up in terms of in writing, of course, and see what can be done. You know, because I'm sure we can come up with something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, because it seemed like when we talked to, I know I was putting in tickets for the Zoom and everything else. And I remember that they did put in a ticket for you. So I'm like, that was July 20th. So we're months past that now to where we need to probably attend and get it expedited or speak with Jose to see who might be able to kind of help us.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Councilmember Angel. I agree. All right, so I'm not even sure if Mr. Gonzalez is still on.
Councilmember Siglia, yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I believe we are going to try to I don't know if you were in the chain in July, because you may not have been with us in July.
I have not been on that change of conversation.
All right, so we
through
will
email. No.
I will send you the initial emails, the original emails that we had sent to get the ticket started, and then we can work from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
You're welcome.
All right, so Ms. Tsai, is there anything else on the agenda that's left to do?
No, there isn't.
All right, what about the things that did we get the things that Mr. Spencer, Councilmember Spencer wanted to put on the agenda for the business meeting?
No, he hasn't. And I also want to just recognize that Councilmember Patricia Jewett has her hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Pat. Councilmember Jewett?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here. I just wanted to say that when it comes to the email chains and stuff like that, you know, that stuff has to be resolved sooner than later. You know, we've all been in this like limbo land for a while. So whatever tech support or IT people that we need to speak to and get this resolved, we need to get it resolved. As far as people not receiving specific emails, just send it again. 1, 2, however many it is. Because everybody wants to help others. And it's very embarrassing to be caught off guard when somebody thinks you're addressing something or somebody thinks you've been given the information and you actually haven't been given that. So, you know, things happen. So then just send it again. That's all. Let's just move forward so that we can, and I want this whole email thing resolved before Christmas. Before you know it, the term will be over.
True, me too.
Or November. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Jewett.
pardon me, co-presidents. 'Cause I
Go
don't have a
ahead,
hand.
council members, Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President Green. Yeah, so just for the record, just the two things for the agenda next week that I want to suggest is just a motion to have a joint meeting with CEC22.
Yes.
And you had mentioned the legislative chair, chair for the legislative committee, and I think Constance had mentioned that there'd be an update on the bylaws. I'll also update the council on the next meeting for the ad hoc committee. And that's it. According to my notes, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, council member Spencer. All right, any other council members that have anything else they want to put on the agenda for the October 12th meeting, please?
Actually, Co-President Green, can we get an update on the email situation? I don't want to, it's late now, but can we get an update in terms of how that's going to be rectified and keep the council in the loop? Can we add
Definitely.
that? Thank you.
Definitely, we'll add that. Okay. Thank you, council member Spencer. Does any other council member have anything else they want to add to the October 12th agenda? All right, I'm not seeing any hands, but I don't know if anyone's having issues with their Zoom, so.
Co-President Green, just for the record, Councilmember Husbands had to leave at 9:47 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, that reminds me, for the record, I actually got into the meeting around 7 and stuff, so just so that it can be for the record, just to update the record for today's meeting. So thank you for letting us know that, Mr. Councilmember Spencer.
My pleasure, Co-President Green.
Go ahead. Huh?
Leading the meeting, inform them. I want to say something.
Okay, Councilmember Asidu wants to say something.
Okay. And I just wanted to note for the record, the council members were here at Tweed before the start of the meeting. It was the issue of whether or not it was hybrid that caused the complications, and we had to rely on Mr. Mojica from FACE to get us in the room because there's no way we could have done this meeting on the train. Just so everyone's aware of it. Myself, Co-President Green, and Vice President Jewett. Right. So I do not want to hear anything about I was late for this meeting, because I was not.
Okay. All right. So that's it for the official updates, I guess. Does anyone else have anything else they wish to say, comments on, council members only at this point, before we ask for a motion to adjourn?
I'll end on a good note. Just invite everybody. Hopefully it's not going to rain on Saturday. Treasurer Angel mentioned that back to school event in the Bronx. We had a good turnout in Brooklyn and a better turnout in Queens. I want to see what Bronx comes. You know, it's a great. It's great feeling just coming from this part of the table, and just the parents are like, oh wow, yeah, I get your emails, great, I'll be there and all that, or wow, I didn't know about that. And so yeah, we're looking in, and then Manhattan after that, and I know Staten Island is going to be huge, so shout out to the upcoming boroughs. We're looking forward to seeing you, pressing the flesh, sharing the smiles, and lots of love. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Council Member Spencer. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask if anyone will make the motion for us to, officially adjourned. It's almost
I
10.
move to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. I heard it moved by Councilmember Angel first. And Mr. Lawrence, are you seconding?
Yes.
And Mr. Lawrence seconded it. Are there any abstentions and or are there any objections to this motion? Seeing and hearing none, we are officially adjourned. We hope to see you at our next meeting. Thank you for coming. Get home safe, and we will see you soon. Thank you on behalf of CCD 75.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Get
Good night,
home safe.
everybody.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Get home
Good
safely.
night.
Good night.
Take care. See you
Good
soon.
evening.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.